Well, good morning, Miramar, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Tamara G. Don't forget, you can check us out on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at City of Miramar. And we all know it's right here in Miramar. And right here with us today, we have Chuck Fucillo. He is the president and CEO of a wonderful organization that is actually getting ready to celebrate their 20th anniversary. That will be the Alzheimer's Foundation of America. Chuck, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks so much for having me on, Tamara. Great to be with you.
Amazing, and so happy to have you here. And can you believe 20 years has passed?
No, I can't. I've been with the foundation now 8 years. I'm in my 9th year, and it's a blink of an eye.
It really is. It really is. And you guys are doing such great work in the community, in our state, around the world, and with this disease that nobody ever wants to get, right?
Absolutely. You know, once this disease, Alzheimer's, walks in your front door, it's never the same, obviously, for the person who has it, but also for the family and caregivers as well.
Right. And you know what? We're going to talk about that in just a minute, because I know a lot of attention is always on, of course, the person who has Alzheimer's. But you just mentioned something very important, those caregivers and those family members, because the person who has it is not the only person living with it, right?
Exactly. And we were founded 20 years ago by a caregiver who in the 80s and 90s was caring for his mom. And like so many caregivers today, you know, was confused, didn't know where to turn to, didn't know what the signs were. And when his mom passed away in the 90s, he really wanted to do something to ensure that no caregiver goes on this journey alone. And that's why AFA was founded. And, you know, 20 years later, we're doing God's work in fulfilling the mission every single day of providing the support services for caregivers and individuals who have Alzheimer's disease.
And for those people who have gotten that diagnosis, you know, what are some of the range of emotions? Because I know, like you said, you guys are dealing with them on a daily basis. When they are told by a doctor, you have Alzheimer's, what is that, the first range of emotions that you guys see with most of the people that
you know, it's like any other diagnosis where somebody tells you you have something. It's first of all, it's shock, it's disbelief, it's confusion. You know, you get into an angry state. With Alzheimer's disease, most individuals, all of them say, well, what does it look like for the rest of my life? What am I looking at? And that's where AFA comes in. You know, we have a 7-day-a-week helpline that's staffed by licensed social workers that are dementia specifically trained. And that number is toll free. It's 866-232-8484. Or individuals can just go to our website and chat through it, and we could chat in 90 different languages, because we want to make sure that language is not a barrier for seeking help. And the website address is alzfdn.org. But the primary purpose is to make sure people have a place to turn to.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of that, you guys are getting ready to embark on a National Educating America tour. It's going to kick off here in Florida on February 16th. Tell us about that, and what is that going to look like for people? Can they come in person, or is it going to be virtual? Tell us about it.
So we started this initiative 5 years ago, and last December, we completed all 50 states. So now we're turning around. We're visiting the country again. So it's a free virtual conference because of the pandemic. There's still some travel restrictions, as you know, but it's a free virtual conference, Alzheimer's and Caregiving Conference, where they're going to hear from experts, researchers, caregiving tips and strategies, and just looking at dementia and Alzheimer's in a different view. Because once you leave this conference for 2 hours and 45 minutes, you're going to be better educated and empowered to know where to turn to for support, but also have the knowledge of what to expect, you know, whether it's you or a loved one. And it's always important that we practice good brain health. People forget about that, Tamara. You know, what we put in our mouth, we know affects our body, but it also affects our brain as well. So we're going to educate individuals on health and brain wellness as well.
That's amazing. And the fact that you are bringing people together, are people with Alzheimer's invited as well, or is it just for the caregivers and the family members?
Everybody, whether you have it or not, caregivers, if you just want to learn about this disease, if you want to hear from the experts in dementia, you know, we're going to have some of our staff members that are going to participate in the workshop as well. You're going to get to know more about the Alzheimer's Foundation of America's programs and services. It's really encompassing, you know, a whole global initiative about how to prepare for this and where to go with this.
Right. And we are, even though we do see that people have Alzheimer's, there have been some strides that have been made in combating and dealing with this disease, correct?
There has been this new medication that was recently approved by the FDA, but I want to stress to everybody that what's important is living a healthy lifestyle. It's things we've heard as children, exercise every single day, eat right, don't smoke, don't drink. That's got to carry us through our entire life. And, always be concerned about your memory, because as we get older, things change in our lives, and we need to keep our bone structure strong, but we also need to keep our brain strong as well.
If you are just tuning into the show, we are speaking with Chuck Fucillo. He is the president and CEO of the Alzheimer's Foundation of America. If you need to speak to someone, he said they have phones that are manned 7 days a week, 866-232-8484, 866-232-8484. And I would love to talk about the next steps. So once people are diagnosed, once they get over that shock, Chuck, and they call your organization, American Alzheimer's Foundation of America, what are some of the things that you guys are going to walk them through? Because I'm sure people are just at a loss. They just have no idea what to do.
We're going to educate them on the stages of Alzheimer's disease, what to expect, but also how to live a healthy life as well. But we're also going to provide support for caregivers. We do programs 7 days a week, every single day at 2:30. And these are therapeutic programs, interactive programs that people can participate. They're on our website, alzfdn.org, in what we call the teal room, because teal is our Alzheimer's awareness color. Mm-hmm. We also provide support groups for caregivers and individuals who want to participate if they have a cognitive impairment as well. Educational training, webinars on different topics. All of these are free, and individuals can participate in them just by going to the website, learning more about our programs and services. Even the conference is free. Individuals can register for the February 16th conference by going to alzfdn.org/tour.
Perfect. And so you guys sent me some numbers, which I was really astonished when we decided to book this interview, that said there are more than 580,000 people living in Florida that are affected by Alzheimer's, and that number is expected to increase significantly to 720,000 in the next few years. Is that because we are the retirement capital of the world? And, obviously Alzheimer's is found mostly in the older generation.
Yes and no. We deal with families whose loved ones are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. There's no discrimination with this Alzheimer's disease. It could affect individuals in all walks of life. Better diagnosis, better awareness of the disease is also increasing the numbers as well. But the numbers you just cited is the reason we're coming to Florida on February 16th. Think about those numbers. 580,000 people in your state are currently living with Alzheimer's disease. Use a multiplier of 3 or 4 as a caregiving team. It's over 2 million people that this is affecting. You could see how widespread and prevalent it is, and the need for services and education and awareness.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are going to talk about those topics. You're going to talk about healthy aging. You mentioned that long-term care planning. I'm just now starting to do that myself, because as someone who is not married and doesn't have kids, I got to figure out what I'm going to do, and where I'm going to live, and maybe I may need help. So long-term care planning. How about legal planning? What about that?
It's all encompassed in long-term care planning, healthcare proxies. These are all decisions that we want individuals to be able to participate in and make those decisions when they're able to. By the way, it's never too late to plan. And that's something that the National Elder Law Foundation always stresses, that it's never too late or too early to plan.
Awesome. And so thank goodness on February 16th, you guys are going to be doing this in Florida. It is going to be virtual, so people can just register for it. It is a free conference that is happening, so that's always good. Families don't need more strain. And then again, mark that date of February 16th. It is the National Educating America Tour, the Alzheimer's Foundation of America. And again, if you want more information, you can always go to their website, or if you need help, call their hotline 866-232-8484. 866-232-8484. Let's switch gears a little bit, Chuck, and talk about how the caregivers, particularly family members, You know, a lot of family members don't want to put their relatives, you know, in a home, or they want to keep them at home. What do you say to that caregiver who really is stretched almost to the end of their rope as well?
Make sure you take time out for yourself. You need to avoid caregiver burnout. You know, the stress, the emotional and physical stress is a lot for a caregiver during this pandemic. It's overwhelming. And it's, you know, you're dealing with isolation, you're dealing with loneliness. Some places you're dealing with lack of visitations as well throughout the country. We always say to the caregiver, take time out for yourself. Don't burn out. Because if you burn out, you're no good for yourself or for the one you're caring for. Take 30 minutes and just meditate, just go for a walk, just relax, go outside if you can. Just make sure you do something for yourself as well. But that's one of the reasons why we have support groups here at the Alzheimer's Foundation of America. We encourage individuals to participate, even if they don't want to say anything, just join the support group and listen to what others are going through, because most likely they're going through the same caregiving stress and emotions that you're going through. And it's always good to hear from somebody and also learn from other people as well as our experienced staff.
Will you guys also touch on how to deal with your loved one after they've been diagnosed?
Yeah,
You know,
that was
I'm almost to the point now, and my mother does not have Alzheimer's, but I want to take her keys because I don't think she drives that great anymore. You
yeah,
know, things like that you have to deal with.
yeah. I mean, a lot of those questions are answered through the helpline, but
Mhm.
those are tough things to do. And you know, you have to, as a caregiver, learn how to approach, you know, the loved one you're caring for to take away the keys. You know, remember, you're taking away a part of their freedom. You're
Mhm.
taking away a part of their life that they've had for many, many years. So we will guide you through it and be with you every step of the way. But one of the things that I always like to stress is that Alzheimer's is not a normal part of aging. And don't be in denial. If you see a difference in your loved one, mood changes, forgetfulness of current events and times and place, and names of people you just met, if you see somebody who's agitated all of a sudden, don't be in denial and say the most common excuse, oh, he or she is just getting older. You know, that's a protective measure of a loved one or a friend or a caregiver. At that point, when you see those signs, pick up the phone, call your primary care physician, or call the Alzheimer's Foundation of America.
I love that. I also was watching this past Sunday, 60 Minutes. They were doing a revisit of the Tony Bennett
I,
concert that he did with Lady Gaga, where he was spectacular. He remembered every song, he remembered every word. And then I think Anderson Cooper said maybe 2 days or not even a week later, he asked him about it and he had no memory of it.
you know, it's a patient story, it's a patient journey. And we always emphasize that to the caregiver. Don't get agitated yourself if you're losing patients, because you have to remember something. If you get agitated and say things that you regret at some point or have any actions, the person you're caring for will forget about it, but it
Mhm.
becomes an emotional scar for yourself. So that's why we always say, just take time out yourself, be calm about it. And the Tony Bennett story is a perfect example. Here you have somebody on stage who's singing, remembers every single word, the music exactly with Lady Gaga. And I saw that presentation and it was heartwarming. But that's his life. That's what sparks the memories in this individual. And we should always look for that in somebody we're caring for as well.
Amazing. Those are some great words of advice. Well, listen, for folks who were on the fence or, you know, trying to figure out, you know, how can I find help or where is there help? Chuck, you have definitely given some ideas today, and they need to give that hotline a call if you are dealing with something as a caregiver or if you've been diagnosed, because you do speak to patients themselves as well, right?
Absolutely. Yes, we do.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people call us who are concerned about their own memories. One of the things we also offer on a website is an online memory screening, and we ask people to do that as well. We also offer free virtual screenings with our professionally trained staff. It only takes 10 to 15 minutes of your day. It's a series of questions to test your cognitive skills. You get a score. If you score above the baseline, we say to you, come back to us in 6 months. If you score below the baseline, we'll make certain recommendations for you as well.
Sounds good. And I like something else that you mentioned too, that, you know, when people do think Alzheimer's, they think older person or old person.
Right.
that's not necessarily the case.
You're absolutely correct. As I said before, and I love to emphasize it, it's not a normal part of aging. And people have to be cognizant of that. Regardless of your age, if you're experiencing cognitive issues, memory loss, deal with it, because not all memory loss is attributed to Alzheimer's disease. You could have a thyroid issue problem. You could have a vitamin deficiency, suffering from depression or sleep apnea. All of these are treatable, if not correctable, but you won't know it unless you go to your primary care physician.
And so it goes back to preventative care as well, which goes all the way back to the beginning of this interview.
Right.
We have to take care of ourselves.
Exactly.
Awesome. So give that website once again and where people can register for this wonderful free conference that's coming up on February 16th here in Florida.
Just go to our website, which is alzfdn.org. You can go to the tab where it says events calendar, or you can just go to /tour or call our office at 866-232-8484 for further information.
All right, sounds good. Chuck Fucillo, he is the president and CEO of the Alzheimer's Foundation of America. You guys, please go online if you know a family member, if you have a neighbor or a friend of yours who is going through this, please let them know about this free conference that is happening virtually. You can do it right in the comfort of your own home on February 16th, because people are in need. That's Wednesday, February 16th. And what time is the conference, by the way, Chuck? We forgot to say that.
I kick it off at 10 a.m. and we go to 12:45.
Awesome. So you can get your questions answered, or if you have more, you can always call, of course, the hotline at 866-232-8484, but definitely go online to Alzheimer's Foundation of America and register for this free conference that is going to give you so much information, particularly if you're here in Florida, but of course, people see us all around the country, but you can tune in as well. It's a national conference. They are a national nonprofit organization celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. So congratulations on that. The National Educating America Tour on Wednesday, February 16th, starting at 10 a.m. virtually. Thank you so much, Chuck, and good luck with everything that you are doing and making a difference in the lives of many people out here.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching.